Thank you for tuning in to Nevada Justice. Born and raised in Las Vegas and with over 15 years of legal experience, attorney Andre Lago Marcino has served as counsel in a wide variety of cases. The information you obtain from the show is not, nor is it intended to be legal advice. You should consult an attorney for advice regarding your individual situation. We invite you to contact us at 702-731-1230 and welcome your calls. Contacting us does not create an attorney-client relationship.
All right.
Hello, everybody.
Max, you ready for some justice?
Yeehaw.
Welcome, everyone, to Nevada Justice, Friday, Las Vegas. Here we are, October 24th. In studio with me, Rebecca Reyes.
Hello.
Max Lardent.
I've already yeehawed, so
Jamie Cogburn.
Yeehaw.
yeah.
Also with his bodyguards, Cole and Carter Cogburn, also in studio with us.
Hi, guys.
Good to see you guys. Well, it's kind of interesting. The last couple of weeks we did some misconduct shows, and the first one was lawyers behaving badly. And then last week we did police misconduct. And we had some police misconduct over the last couple of days over a few agencies. You see that?
I saw there was a child molester picked up in a guy that was driving the wrong way on a freeway that happened to be a police officer.
Yeah, that's strange.
Was that here?
There was I don't know if he was child molester. It was like a child
I'm sorry,
porn.
child pornography.
Yeah, it was an alleged child porn case. And then there was an alleged sexual assault case out of Bullhead City in the paper today. And then, that DUI for the Henderson officer. So,
At least his car wasn't on fire.
yeah, yeah, that's true. So, anyway, kind of shocking. But today we're going to stray away from those issues.
Yes.
And we are going to get into the elections. This is going to be the first of two election shows that we're doing heading into the election of November 2014. We're going to try to focus on some topics that have to do with the law and the Las Vegas Valley, of course, and Nevada. So let's get going.
Yeah, before we get into that, I just want to let all our listeners know that we will be accepting calls at the bottom of the hour. Just give us a call at 702-731-1230. And if you want to get in contact with us off the air, you can reach our firm at 702-383-2864 or via email at radio@parkershear.com. Now, we do have our guest today, Jamie Cogburn, to discuss his opinions on the election. But first, we're going to talk to him about his practice and his experience as a lobbyist. Jamie Cogburn co-founded Cogburn Law Offices in 2005 and has helped grow the business to a 9-attorney firm. Jamie is an active member of the Nevada Justice Association, the American Justice Association, the National Association of Consumer Advocates, and the Citizens for Justice. Jamie's areas of practice include business litigation, real estate, and consumer protection. Jamie is an activist for consumers and those affected by employment and personal injury lawsuits. He believes strongly in protecting individual rights and lobbies for the Nevada Justice Association to protect consumers and the rights of injured people. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. I feel like I'm at the right place since it's called Nevada Justice Show.
And you bring Nevada justice.
Yes,
You believe in justice, Jamie?
I do.
Okay.
Jamie, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into the legal profession?
Well, I graduated college and said I got to do something, and I went to law school.
Sounds like my high school class.
Yeah, exactly.
And what kind of cases do you primarily handle?
I handle a lot of real estate stuff myself. Our firm, we basically do 3 areas of practice: employment law, personal injury, and then real estate.
Can you tell us exactly what a lobbyist does?
Well, there's 2 different types of lobbyists out there. There's paid lobbyists, and then there's unpaid lobbyists. Unfortunately, I'm an unpaid lobbyist. So I lobby on behalf of a nonprofit, but there are paid lobbyists who will, during session and the legislative session, will basically you're trying to educate some of the legislators up there. So many of them, although they're writing laws that affect all of us, are not lawyers. They're staff attorneys on staff up at the legislature, but you're educating them on, hey, what this bill, how it'll affect the community and stuff like that.
Why did you decide to become a lobbyist? And can you talk a little bit about your personal experience, maybe something, a memory that you have or something?
Sure. I'm a board member of the Nevada Justice Association, and we're basically out there to protect consumers and victims of personal injuries and the like. So we lobby just to make sure, as of right now, really just to toe the line and make sure the laws don't change anymore, to be counterproductive for normal citizens. Unfortunately, most people don't need an attorney and don't realize they need an attorney until they actually need one. So they're not worried about laws until it affects them.
Do you feel that as a lobbyist you make a big difference? Does your opinion carry a lot of weight, do you feel?
Sometimes. It depends on who you're talking to. You will have different legislators contact you when you're out of session, and they'll say, hey, this case just came down, or we do a lot of bill review. So although there's bills that are passed that become laws, there are many, many bills that are reviewed, and you'll suggest changes and things like that.
How do you balance all your responsibilities and activities? I know you have the kids and your lobbying and your firm. You drink a lot of wine, and you just don't sleep as much.
Red or white?
Red, but hopefully knocks you out a little bit.
Helps the heart too.
Yeah, red's supposed to be better for you, right?
Yeah.
And what do you like to do outside of work, as if you had time?
I like to hang out with my kids, and then I like to play golf very badly.
I can vouch that Jamie plays golf very badly. Unfortunately, he beats me, so I can't vouch that much.
It's all on scale, right?
Yeah.
Jamie, are you excited about this year's election? Got any favorites?
I'm excited that it's over. For multiple reasons. I'm tired of hearing ads. Seems like a lot of mudslinging this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We have a few commercials with us today.
Yeah.
and I'm not I know we're going to talk about the judicial elections, but it's tough donating. There's so many judges up for election. As attorneys, we get hit up many times for donations, and you're just glad that that's ending now.
Yes. Well, then there are no more elections for another 6 years, right? For the judges.
For the judges, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're stuck with them.
For a very
So
long
we
time.
better make the right choice, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you ever consider running for a judicial position?
No.
No.
Why?
Yeah, why not?
You'd be a great judge, Jamie.
One
Judge
of the
Jamie.
one of the judges that's running, that I'm sure we'll talk about, is Jim Crockett, who's been he's a fantastic trial lawyer, been a lawyer for 40 years. I asked him, I said, why do you want to do this? And his comment is moving. He wants to make the justice system better. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad judges. There's some very good ones, but there's some ones that they do judges because they become judges because they want the paycheck, and not because they want to make the system better.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about the election. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Nevada Justice. We're going to start talking about the election now. Let's begin our election discussion with the race for Attorney General. The candidates for Attorney General are Adam Laxalt, is that how you pronounce it?
That's right.
And Ross Miller. The Attorney General acts as the main legal advisor to the government.
Easier to say.
Ross Miller.
Yeah.
Those two actually are descendants of some former big-time Nevada politicians. Paul Laxalt was I believe, a governor and a senator, and Governor Bob Miller was a longtime governor. In,
I've heard of one of those.
Yeah, he was a 10-year governor. So
it's in their blood.
it is in their blood. One of them is gonna proceed.
Well, let's talk about Ross Miller for a moment. When he was elected as Secretary of State, he was the youngest in the history of Nevada. He's been endorsed by the Las Vegas Sun, Clark County Prosecutors Association, Henderson Police Officers Association, Reno Police Protective Association, Nevada State Law Enforcement Officers Association, Clark County District Attorney Investigators Association, and Professional Firefighters of Nevada, just to name a few. A fun fact about Mr. Miller is that he also does mixed martial arts. I saw that a lot online.
That is a fun fact.
That's a very fun fact. Now, Adam Laxalt is a former lieutenant in the United States Navy and was trained by the Navy as a prosecutor and legal advisor. He's been endorsed by Governor Mitt Romney, Brian Sandoval, Dick Cheney, and Dean Heller, to name a few. A fun fact about Mr. Laxalt is that he has 2 dogs. Now, the race between these two has gotten a bit nasty as far as the media goes.
It's very easy to tell which party line they fall on just by who endorsed them.
I know, right? We're going to go ahead and play a commercial bashing Mr. Miller.
Ross Miller's traveling the globe on someone else's nickel. Fancy parties, exclusive sporting events, posing with celebrities, even playmates. One can dream. But for politician Ross Miller, it's reality. Miller took $60,000 in gifts and travel from special interests on top of his 6-figure salary. He lives the life, you pay the tab. Tell Ross Miller to stop living the high life at your expense.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to tell Ross Miller to keep living the high life, and please invite me along to hang out with these celebrities.
Me too.
Traveling the globe. I mean, it sounds like Ross Miller has the life. You know?
Wait, how much time was that $60,000?
Right?
Because that doesn't seem like a whole lot for a high life. Or
I love
extravagant lifestyle.
the TV commercials. They show him doing like the hang loose sign on there.
And UFC fights and
Yeah. I mean, I like
Do
UFC
you
fights.
want your attorney general having fun? I don't.
I know. We want robots. We do not want to. We're the entertainment capital of the world, but you cannot go to any events if you are a politician here.
well, it's
apparently.
only a 4-year stop though. His plan is for the governor.
You think so? How is that going to play out? What is if things go according to Ross Miller's plan, Jamie? How do you think it'll go for Ross Miller?
He'll be the AG for 4 years, and then he will run when Sandoval's term is over.
What's Sandoval going to do?
Sandoval may be headed to a vice president seat, or who knows? He may run against Reed coming up in 2016 if Mark Hutchinson wins.
Okay. Have you heard about him going back to the bench as a judge?
He probably could get another appointment if he wanted. I got to believe he was promised something to leave the bench because that's a lifetime appointment to become governor. He's a handsome gentleman.
I know he's popular.
Yeah, he's popular, Hispanic. He's a middle of the road Republican. Those are some strong, and the Republican Party doesn't have a strong presidential or vice presidential candidate yet. So a lot of people believe that he might be one of those.
I met him once in Carson City. He was really nice.
Yeah, he is quite dashing. Jamie always likes to make fun of me saying that we look like each other, and I always used to say no, we don't. And then I showed up in court a couple of times, and Judge Adair, I think one time she just was frozen. She said, "You just look like his cousin." And Marshall asked me, and I wonder if he gets, "Do you look like Andre Lagomarsino?" I don't think so.
I bet it happens to him all the time.
I'm sure
I don't
at
think
least
so.
once.
I don't think so.
Now, we didn't forget about Mr. Laxalt, so here's a commercial showing his faults.
Republican AG hopeful Adam Laxalt was described by his former law firm's evaluation committee as a, quote, train wreck.
Adam Laxalt's own firm called him a train wreck, saying he lacks basic legal skills. He's never even prosecuted a case in Nevada. But Ross Miller has. As a prosecutor, Miller cracked down on fraud and put violent offenders behind bars. That's why Nevada police and prosecutors are supporting him for Attorney General. Ross Miller. Experience counts.
That sounds so much worse.
Well, I love now that they've come out with a new ad, too, that the biggest case that Laxalt ever tried was a misdemeanor trespass.
Oh, jeez.
That's not going to look good.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the thing about negative advertising, you always hear people criticizing it, but, 2 words. It works, right?
Mm-hmm.
That review from his law firm is just damaging.
Yeah. I think that's...
And I will give full disclosure, I have donated to the Ross Miller campaign.
Have you? Okay.
So I will.
He has
That
my
is who I
vote.
support. Yeah, that is who I support, and I've donated to his campaign.
I know. Did you get a chance to see that debate they had?
I didn't.
Oh, it was quite personal. I mean, it was...
Jabs.
Yeah, as happy as Ross Miller looked in those Laxalt commercials, he did not look happy in that debate. He was very frustrated, I think, with Laxalt, and Laxalt was not too thrilled either. It didn't look like they'd like to be on the same stage together.
I will tell you, it does trouble me that Laxalt is not really, hasn't practiced here, It's not a, Miller's been here a long time. Obviously, his father. They both have legacy families, but I would say he's more of a Nevadan.
Where did he practice?
Ross Miller?
No,
Laxalt.
Yeah.
Laxalt was in the JAG, but I believe he was back east in Virginia, if I remember correctly, before he came out to Nevada, because he's only been licensed in Nevada a couple of years.
I will say, not in either of our firms, of course, but we have run into some train wrecks as attorneys.
Yes.
I'm
just glad I was never one of those reviews where my
Yeah.
boss said, "Oh my God, he's a train wreck, and then we might want to get rid of
Oh
him."
my God, my
Those
old
are
boss.
strong words
he
for an
would,
attorney.
yeah. Sometimes I used to come into work thinking my name may not be on the door today. I don't know. But
All right. Well, we're gonna.
let's get a little survey. So who are you gonna vote for? You don't have to say because voting is.
I don't
confidential.
mind. I will vote for Miller.
All right.
I'm a Miller. I'm in the Miller boat.
I recognize the name Miller, so that helps.
So that's why you're gonna
Yeah.
vote for.
I think I'm gonna vote for Miller too. Pretty sure.
All right. So we all agree on that
Lawrence?
one, at least. Lawrence. Lawrence doesn't know.
So if my picks are anything like my football picks, Ross Miller has no chance to win this race.
He's playing the Browns, huh?
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about the Nevada Appeals Court. Now, let's talk about the state ballot questions. There are 3 questions on the ballot this year. Question 1, shall the Nevada Constitution be amended to create a court of appeals that would decide appeals of district court decisions in certain civil and criminal cases? Those in favor of this argue that Nevada's Supreme Court has been overburdened for decades as it struggles to provide the public with speedy access to justice in the face of an ever-growing population. Our Supreme Court is one of the busiest in the nation because it must hear and decide all appeals from final judgments entered by Nevada's 82 district court judges. The American Bar Association recommends that when the volume of appeals becomes so great that a state's Supreme Court cannot decide cases in a timely fashion, a court of appeals should be created. A court of appeals would decide the more routine cases, which would allow the Supreme Court to focus on precedent-setting published opinions. Court of appeals would provide more timely access to justice for Nevadans and a more stable business climate for existing and new businesses. Those who are opposing the question argue that Nevada's court system has been functioning without a court of appeals for the past 150 years, and voters rejected the creation of a court of appeals in 1972, 1980, 1992, and in 2010. The backlog of appeals has not sufficiently increased since 2010 to justify creating a court of appeals now. There are other methods to manage caseloads without creating a new court for appellate review. When necessary in the past, the legislature has added more district court judges and Supreme Court justices to handle increased workloads. Although a court of appeals would initially consist of 3 judges, the legislature could add more judges, staff, and facilities to operate a court of appeals in the future, with no guarantee of an improved judicial system. What do you guys think?
All right, Jamie.
It just shocks me that Andre doesn't support this.
Well, let me ask you. Okay.
Put him on blast.
It's shocking.
Why?
The backlog that they're the most one of the most overworked Supreme Court justices in the nation.
Okay.
They have 3 times as many cases, over 3 times as many cases as ABA recommends. The Court of Appeals, it's a push-down method, so it's not like the California Court of Appeals where I would appeal to the appeals court. If I lose there, I get to then appeal to the Supreme Court. You go to the Supreme Court, they will push down all the cases that are routine, which ends up being a lot of prisoner appeals and things like that, and they would hear more precedent-setting cases. The cases that take a long time to decide, that really set precedent, they'll hear arguments and they don't make a decision for 6 to 9 months to a year on some cases. And that's after you've already been on appeal for a year to get your argument. So I just think it will help expedite something, create more case law in Nevada, which helps the district court judges expedite their caseload.
Well, let me ask you, though. So an appeal goes up to the Supreme Court. It gets pushed down to what would be a Nevada Court of Appeals. Then what happens after the Court of Appeals says, hey, appeal denied or granted? Now is there a right of appeal back to the Nevada Supreme Court?
No.
It would be the final say.
That's the final say.
Okay. Well, you've changed me a little bit there. I didn't realize it was going to be such a push-down method. But my other concern, though, is have they talked about how many judges would be on a court of appeals?
As it stands right now, it's a three judge panel. They would be appointed by the governor. So in the push-down method, what's going to mainly get pushed down are going to be routine criminal appeals. You have, in addition to the appeals, you have a lot of writs that get filed. And a writ is where a judge makes a decision you do not agree with, that you think is against or violates some type of law, and you appeal. It's almost you appeal that decision before the case is ever over, because it's going to have a dramatic effect on how the case proceeds. So they would deal a lot with those. But a lot of it's going to be the criminal. They're going to deal with a lot of the criminal docket, except for the ones that the Supreme Court wants to. It's a new novel issue, or they want to clarify.
All right. Well, Jimmy has changed my mind. I think I'm going to lean
Towards yes.
Lean yes.
But
However,
Jamie's not available for every voter out there.
yeah.
I will tell you, it's very economical too.
Okay.
It's one of the cheapest appeals courts in the nation. The way it's proposed, it's going to be, and I know this doesn't sound economical, but it's going to be about $3 million.
No,
But
that sounds low. That sounds low.
That is very low for. They don't have to build any facilities. They're going to use the facilities they already have. They're going to share facilities in Tonopah. But so it's really going to go to staff, the three judges, and they'll have hearings, and they're going to share the Supreme Court, where all the Supreme Court stuff is now.
Okay.
But on the ballot, doesn't it just show this question? Or doesn't that give you any other information on there?
I will tell you, it's a very horribly worded question.
Sure.
It did lose in 2010 by, I want to say 3 or 4%.
Same exact question?
A little bit different worded. Same exact method, though, what is called the push-down method.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds great on paper.
Yeah. Hey, if we can speed up that justice, then maybe we should get that push-down appeals court.
I'm leaning towards yes, Max.
Well, so convincing.
Hopefully we have a stellar court of appeals that can decide the issues as they should be decided.
Are we going to have to vote on those too?
No, they'll be appointed by the dapper Governor Sandoval.
That's right.
Yes, yeah.
The best-looking man I know.
Okay, let's talk about question 3 now. Shall the Nevada revised statutes be amended to create a 2% tax to be imposed on a margin of the gross revenue of entities doing business in Nevada whose total revenue for any taxable year exceeds $1 million, with the proceeds of the tax going to the state distributive school account to be apportioned among Nevada's school districts and charter schools? Those for the measure argue that a better funded education system results in better jobs and higher wages. The money from this tax will go directly to K through 12 education. This tax will provide money to pay for smaller class sizes, textbooks, technology, classroom materials, and programs resulting in increased student graduation rates. Nevada is one of only 3 states that do not require big corporations to pay corporate income or gross receipts tax. Any tax paid under the Education Initiative can be deducted from federal taxes. Those against the measure argue that Question 3 is a tax measure that would damage Nevada's economy, cause the loss of thousands of jobs, and force consumers to pay more for food, housing, utilities, and health care, without guaranteeing more funds for education. Promoters claim the tax is for education, but Nevada law lets the legislature divert education funds to other uses. This 2% margin tax would be on gross revenues, not profits, so it's the equivalent of nearly 15% business tax. That would make Nevada one of the 5 highest tax states in the country for businesses. What do you guys think?
Bad idea.
I feel strongly. I never get involved in politics where we send out stuff to clients. This is the one where we sent out and said you have to vote no on 3. Let's be clear, though. It does not go to fund education.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
It goes into the Court of Appeals. That's what it's going to fund.
It goes into the state general fund. It goes into the state general fund, and they can disperse it however they want.
They're trying to
You even had the teachers union, who is now not even supporting the question any longer.
Because they know that they probably won't be seeing any of it.
It will not. It just will not go to education, and it's a little misguiding that we don't have a corporate tax here in the state of Nevada. Well, we have sales tax. Many states, Oregon, other places, they don't have sales tax.
Right. We have a high sales tax.
We have a very high sales tax
Yeah.
compared to all the other states in the nation. And I don't know even if you put more money to education, if that's the fix.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, that's a different issue. But the biggest problem is, one, it doesn't go to education, so it's just going to let the legislators decide. And two, how can you tax gross revenue?
Right.
That's absurd. So if you have gross revenue of $10 million, you're going to pay a very high tax.
Yeah.
But you may only, of that, it may take 98% of that money to operate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. The other, like what Jamie's saying is, so for example, even a small business, like we're a small business, okay. Say you gross $1 million, and our expenses are $1 million, and we broke even. Now we have to pay $20,000 to the state just because we met our expenses. I think even the IRS, who's quite, liberal with their interpretation of what income is, at least was going to tax your net and what businesses will make as profit. If you lose money, then you're not paying. So this, to me, who wrote this, Jamie? Do you know who's behind this?
I don't remember, but unfortunately, some of the people I do support sometimes and heavily lobby, I know, are behind it, but it has lost a lot of steam. There's been a ton of people, organizations, and just citizens coming out against it. Like I said, our office, we send out, like we do judicial recommendations because we're in the law, that field, but we never get into, hey, you should vote for Mark Hutchinson over Lucy Flores or something like that. This is one where we have sent out many notices and other things saying, you need to learn the truth out there. It's not that good.
Yeah, it's so misleading to make people think that they're voting yes to helping the school system, but that's not at all what's going on here.
And look, we were talking earlier with Max, and education extremely important. I think it does need to be funded. Worst case scenario, you fund it, but this doesn't seem like it's the avenue to do so. If the theory is tax somebody who makes a lot of money and profits at 2%, maybe that would be a different situation. But this, to me, is just gross revenue. So whoever drafted this, I think, did it the wrong way, in my opinion.
Well, let's talk about those running for Department 3, Michael Davidson and incumbent Douglas Herndon. Douglas Herndon is currently the chief criminal presiding judge who, in addition to carrying a full civil criminal caseload, oversees the operation of the criminal division of the 8th Judicial District Court system. Additionally, he serves on the court's executive committee, has served the court's head election issue judges, and has served on the court's security task force. Michael Davidson has been practicing law in Southern Nevada since 1979. Following 20 years as a private practice civil and criminal trial lawyer, he joined the Clark County District Attorney's Office as Assistant District Attorney from 1998 to 2003. After a brief return to his private practice, he was named Chief Deputy City Criminal Division for North Las Vegas from 2004 to 2010. Now, I haven't seen too much media on these two, but I did find one clip wherein Davidson takes a jab at Herndon. Let's play the clip.
Imagine if you or a family member are in court with two choices for your judge. My opponent, Judge Douglas Herndon, has always been a government lawyer and never represented a person or business. Your other choice is me. Yes, I've been a prosecutor, but for 25 years, I've also been the lawyer for thousands of real people just like you and defended their constitutional and civil rights in court. I'm Michael Davidson, and I'm running for district judge because our community deserves a judge with the balanced experience to do what's right and fair.
I like Herndon.
Do you?
I do.
What do you know about him?
Just from researching him, and he has his own Facebook. And
This one sounded harsher than I think the content actually was.
Yeah, his way of speaking. What do you guys think?
You know what? I think they're both good candidates. I think it's one of those departments where I wish Mike Davidson would have run in a different department. I don't think there's any way he wins the race. Herndon has he has a good reputation. He can be tough on certain types of clients, but he's well respected. He gets a very high rating among attorneys.
Yeah, I think I would agree with Rebecca. He's very likable.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a Facebook.
He
so
does.
If that qualifies
His
you to be a
daughters.
judge,
That's a
then,
votable
issue.
qualification.
Well, he's in touch with the people, but
Yeah, looks like a
unfortunately,
nice
I have
guy.
a different opinion. I am not. If I get a case in front of Judge Herndon again, I will make sure that it doesn't stay in front of him if I can help it. We had lost a case there to me, which was clearly a wrong decision that he made, and it cost our client thousands of dollars. An individual who had been injured at a restaurant. So, in any event, I don't know that much about Michael Davidson, so this is going to be one where I'm just going to vote against Herndon personally.
That's good to know. I
And
mean,
I think by just saying all this, I guaranteed I'll probably never appear in front of Judge Herndon again because it's not going to go well.
There
for me.
are several judges that we make sure we don't get in front of. In Nevada, as Andre knows, you can pay a fee and preempt a judge when your case gets assigned, meaning it'll get reassigned to another judge. You can only do that one time per case. So if you land in Judge Herndon's court, you can pay I think it's $500,
Yeah, something like
and they reassign it. Now, sometimes you can end up in a worse judge.
that. Yeah.
But Judge Herndon is not good for people that have been injured. He makes some bad rulings there, but he does always come prepared, which some judges don't. He does read the stuff, whether you agree with his rulings sometimes or not. Like I said, I wish Davidson was running a different department because there's many other judges that could get easily replaced.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit before we go to the next segment about some of these other races, Jamie, and get your opinion on them. I think Department 2, you have John Watkins and Richard Scotty, and I read your email that went out to your email list, and you had noted that both John Watkins and Richard Scotty are excellent lawyers, and either candidate would make a great choice. Frankly, we could not pick one over the other and would be ecstatic with either candidate. Don't worry, this is the only race we could not make a clear choice. And I tend to agree with you there. John Watkins, a veteran lawyer, he's one of those lawyers like John Mamet, Bill Terry that are just, people know who they are. They've been around a long time, and Jim Crockett, that he's going to do a great job if he becomes a judge. Richard Scotty, also another great attorney, probably not. He has extremely experienced, just, not nearly the length of John Watkins, but most lawyers aren't. But I'm with you. To me, this is a toss-up race, and I don't know who's going to win. I think the voters win with either one, to be honest.
I think they'll both make excellent judges. John Watkins is arguing in front of the United States Supreme Court. I mean, he has had precedent-setting cases out there. Richard Scotty works for one of the best firms in town, hands down, and he's handled very complex cases.
so Max, either choice you make is good.
Okay, I'll just bring this with me and choose both.
There you go. I'm excited about Department 32 because Judge Rob Bear was on our show.
Judge Rob Bear, it takes two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting my vote.
Yeah,
Judge Bear is a good man.
very prepared. Randall Tyndall, I feel like there was some negative campaigning from his part, but I don't know. Judge Bear is pretty solid.
Well, full disclosure, we've donated to Judge Bear's campaign also. I think he's an excellent judge.
He likes to paint.
He's just a very good. He's well informed and makes rational decisions.
Let me ask you about Department 19, which is going to be the race between William Bill Kephart, who's also a judge, and Cliff Marchek. Judge Kephart, I believe, Justice Court judge, former prosecutor, seemed to be pretty, organized and on the ball when he come to court. Marchek also, I hear, a good reputation. What do you know about these two candidates, Jamie?
Well, to give full disclosure again, I'm on the board of the Nevada Trial Lawyers or Nevada Justice Association. Cliff Marchek was our just immediately past president. We had a new president that took over literally last weekend. We heavily support Cliff Marchek.
The other the race that we have a little bit of time to talk about is Department 23, Judge Miley, Stephanie Miley against Craig Friedberg. Craig Friedberg, who is Craig Friedberg?
Craig Friedberg does a lot of consumer law. I know Craig personally. I will tell you we are endorsing Stephanie Miley. I think she's a very good judge.
She has a billboard.
She does have a billboard. I actually saw Stephanie Miley today. I've been in her court numerous times. She does all the things a judge should do. Again, you may not always agree with the judge's decision, but it's well reasoned, and it is what it is. Craig Freeberg does a lot of fair debt collection stuff, so he sues debt collectors and fair credit reporting and some other things.
Yeah, and I've been in front of Judge Miley as well, and she's always very, very prepared. Good staff, I think, always very courteous. You know, that's another thing. Sometimes when you deal with some of these judges, you have to get through a wall to get to them, and some staff can be very harsh on the phone. Her staff, very, very friendly, and appreciate them. So we endorse Judge Miley as well.
And then let's go ahead and take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to play a game with Max.
Yep, every time.
Every time. This one's going to be a fun one, so I think we'll stump you.
Make
Great.
it twisted.
I'll go out now and introduce the opposition.
Everybody, welcome back to Nevada Justice. Now we are going to play a game with Max today. Now, Max, we are going to see if you can guess the following, okay?
Oh, not even going to give me a category?
Well, it has to deal with how many times a measure has been on the Nevada ballot.
Oh, great. Something I pay attention to.
Yeah, exactly. Something you should know like the back of your hand.
Yeah, all of them. All the ballots ever. I am not a lawyer. I don't know. No,
You'll be
I'm
fine.
okay. All right.
Okay, the first one. How many times has marijuana-related measures been on the Nevada ballot?
Like, anytime it says the word marijuana or the dealing...
Anytime it's a question. Yeah, anytime it's dealing with...
Okay. I know they've only happened recently, so I want to say 1, but I could go as low as 0.
Which one's your choice?
Let's go 1.
Dre, you have the answer.
I had the answer. I just strangely forgot it. I'm very hungry now. I don't understand what's going on. But well, I can tell you, there was a Nevada decriminalization of marijuana amendment on question 9, 2002. So that's once.
One.
Yeah.
And that one failed.
I knew it failed.
All right. And then there was the Nevada...
there's more than one.
Yeah,
Lost.
the Nevada Marijuana Initiative, 2004, it was a very close race, but due to numerous ballots being excluded because of Cheetos on the ballots, it was disqualified. No, actually that failed as well.
I was worried about that. Yes. Yeah. How did they get Cheetos into the voting booths?
I don't know. Then we have Nevada Marijuana Initiative, question 7, 2006, also a failure. Mm-hmm. And then the Nevada Medical Marijuana Act, 1998. Ooh. And question 9, Nevada Medical Marijuana Act, question 9 again, 2000. So looks like 5 times. So you would be incorrect.
Sorry. That's all right.
It's okay.
Let's see if you can redeem yourself on this next one.
I only started voting in like 2004.
I have faith in you, Max. You can get this next one.
All right, I'm going to get this next one.
How many times have taxes been on the Nevada ballot?
All of them. I have to give a real number, right?
A real number, preferably.
Let's say 20.
We've got about 25 times.
Oh, I'm close.
You were closer this time.
Yeah.
Jamie, was that what you were going to guess too?
I was going to say that I'm like Clive Bundy. I don't think we should have to pay taxes or anything like that.
Be careful what you say on the radio.
What else do you agree with, Mr. Bundy? That's about it, right? That's about it. Okay. Cattle.
I don't believe in the government either. I don't want to pay
geez.
taxes anymore.
All right. Now we're on a list.
Okay, now, Max, I hear you have a fun new segment.
I do have
for us. Can you give us a little taste of that?
Yeah. I'm rolling it out today. Well, we've done a lot of ad campaigns today, and something else that most of my experience from lawyers is the commercials I see on TV. I mean, growing up, I was always on just the regular air stations, and they always had a lot of commercials. Glenn Lerner is really shows up on my TV a lot. But I was
and on the
wondering.
Spanish channel.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
See,
I want to translate what that would be, so now I can sing his song. But I was always wondering what different professions would sound like if they were doing their own law commercials. It's like he just later in life decided to go to law school. So here's my first one. This is an airline pilot. I'm John Hawkins. I am attorney at law. If you look over to your left, you can see that I've been a lawyer for 20 years. And we're going to experience a little bit of bumpy rides, but I am going to work for you to make sure that you get everything you deserve. You can contact my office, talk to any of the stewardesses about all my services. You can reach me at 702-555-0000, and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.
I would call you.
I would too. Maybe after an Ambien on the plane.
You'd be hired.
What's next, Max? What else you got?
I'm going to surprise you. I want to surprise you with what I'll do next week.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'll give you a couple next week since it's a Halloween, so we can do like a whole cast of characters.
And we're all going to dress up too, right? For next show.
Yeah, I think we will dress up for next show.
Okay.
I'm dressed up for this show. I don't know what you guys talking about.
Jamie's a little early. He's ahead of us. And Jamie has some commercials too on TV.
I haven't seen them yet, I think.
We had a billboard up that has my wife on it, and behind her was a Shania Twain billboard, and Shania Twain was standing with a horse, and the ears come above the billboard.
No.
So when you look at our billboard, it looked like my wife had horns.
I hope you moved that.
No, I made sure that I paid extra for that. We talked about it. I want everybody to understand what I got to put up with on a daily basis.
Okay.
I wonder if that. At least you're not on the other side of that. What's it called when you kill bugs?
Exterminator.
Exterminator. That exterminator billboard with the Black Widow on the side.
Like, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's on the 215 if you're going west. It's got the legs creeping out the side of it. So on one side it's a giant Black Widow, on the other side you just see the legs like crawling across the. I think it might be another lawyer office. I don't know.
Probably.
Easy, Max. Easy.
I'm not saying
you're alienating our target audience here.
I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying, it's unfortunate that they got to share a billboard with exterminators.
Well, let's take another break, and then when we come back, we'll see if we have any callers for Nevada Justice. Welcome back, everyone, to Nevada Justice. Now, I just wanted to remind everyone that if you wanted to get in contact with our firm off the air, you can reach us at 702-383-2864 or via email at radio@parkershear.com.
All right, Jamie, we have a little bit of time left, and I noticed that you sent out your endorsements on your email list. Do a lot of people call you to get your opinion on who we should vote for?
Well, only when it comes to the judicial stuff, because I think a lot of people don't know who to vote for. We probably got 50 responses back where people were like, hey, thanks. I've talked to several people since it went out, and they're like, I just had a question on this judicial candidate. That's one area where people just don't know, unless you're in the legal field, who's good, who's not. You can only tell so much by looking at a billboard.
I know, and the question I have, though, is, and I agree with you, I went to lunch with some friends today, and they brought the sample ballot, and we went over it. I would ask, do you ever feel worried about any retribution you're going to get if your choice doesn't pan out?
I've already gotten a couple emails from some people that we did not endorse.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought we were going to. And there are a couple of people on here that may not win that we did endorse. So obviously, if we end up in their department, that could get ugly. But for the most part, if we end up in their department anyways, we preempt them and move on, because we want what we think is a fair hearing.
How many cases does your firm have going right now in federal and state court? I know you probably don't have an exact number, but a range.
Not a ton, probably 200.
Okay. Yeah, we only have 3 attorneys. You have about 9 attorneys in your firm, is that correct?
8 now.
8 now, okay. And we have 3. We have about 30, 40.
Yeah.
We have about 30, 40 other cases that are not going in court, but we try to resolve either before or after litigation. But
I'm not working on any.
yeah,
You're lucky.
Stay out of court, Max. Stay out. It's not.
Only people that win when you go to court are the lawyers. Just remember that.
I mean, we practice family law, and we do some divorce and child custody work. I cannot for the life of me understand why anybody would want to be a family court judge.
It's hard. Like the stuff that we see, and
I can understand why you guys want to do family law.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, and family law lawyers are, they're paid well, and I think you have to go through a lot of stress. You'll get a call at 11 o'clock at night saying, hey, somebody was 5 minutes late for the drop-up of the kid. I want to take him to court over that, or, what have you.
That's excessive, right?
Yeah, you would not believe what you see. That we sarcastically refer to family court as happy court because it is not happy court. Trust me, you want to get out of there. I will tell you though, the people that we handle divorces for, I've never seen a happier person than in the 2 months after they've been divorced. They are like free and happy. They're working out. They're eating healthy. They are.
Divorce is expensive because it's worth it, man.
Yeah, I know. Nice. Well, listen, we really, really appreciate you coming in today, Jamie.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have Jamie Carter Cole in spirit. Kristen is with us as well.
She's got her horns going.
Yeah, no, she's got no horns. But Max Lardent, Lawrence, John Lindquist, Bruce Garrett, Rebecca Reyes, Brian, who's with us here in spirit. We are very grateful. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Way out in the land of the setting sun, where the wind blows wild and free, there's a lovely spot, just the only one that means home sweet home to me. If you follow the old Kit Carson Trail until desert meets the hills, oh, you certainly will agree with me. It's a place of 1,000